In this episode of Viral Rewind, with the Olympics coming to a close in Japan, why not look at a virus that kind of deals with the Olympics? And in this video, we're looking at OlympicAIDS on DOS. Now, it's also called VCL.Olympic, and the reason for that is because VCL is for the Virus Creation Laboratory. It's a tool that was made back in the day for skids, which is kind of a slang term for inept coders that didn't know much about coding and scripts to be able to make viruses. So they had this VCL tool which enabled that, and somebody wrote this OlympicAIDS virus using that, so that's why it's called VCL.Olympic. So we have OlympicAIDS there in our DOS directory along with all our .com files. Because this is only a .com infector, it will infect .exes if you rename the .exe extension to .com. It will not check for the MZ header that distinguishes it as a .exe file if you do that. The downside, of course, is if you infect a .exe that's been renamed to a .com, it will most often crash the system because it's not intended to infect an MZ executable, only the DOS executable .com files. Anyway, we run OlympicAIDS there, and it just returns us to the prompt. And now OlympicAIDS does not stay memory resident, so it does not infect files as you run them. It's only when you run an infected file does the infection spread. So it should have taken a couple of the .com files in our DOS directory. Let's see if we can identify any file sizes that have changed. Can't really see off the top of my head, but the one I'm looking for is sys.com because it's 11,472. If I see the size go up on that, I'll know that it's infected. So let's run OlympicAIDS a few more times. And you may notice that the infection time varies a little bit each time OlympicAIDS is run. And that's because it's searching out for files, and the .com files may have a different size, but also there's a bit of a bug in the infection routine of OlympicAIDS. In some instances, it will take up to 30 seconds to perform an infection, which kind of gives you an idea. If you're waiting that long at the command line for your program to finish its execution, kind of tells you there's something going on with your system. So I still don't see sys.com infected, but I haven't been paying attention to much of the others, so let's continue running Olympic a couple more times. Trying to get a mass of infected files here in our DOS directory. Okay, see now sys.com is showing 12,912 bytes. So it is infected with OlympicAIDS now. And if we were to run sys.com again, it would run normally, but it would still infect other .com files as it's run. Plus it will allow us to see the OlympicAIDS payload, which we'll do now. So you see sys.com took a little longer to run there. It still ran like it would because it's asking for the parameters for what we wanted to put system files on, but it searched out another couple of files to infect with OlympicAIDS. Now OlympicAIDS will activate any time after, I believe, February the 12th, because this virus was developed around the 1994 Olympic Games. So its payload date is any time after February 12th. Since it is right now Monday 16th of August, I don't quite think that's right. No, it's August 7th. But regardless, it's well enough ahead of February 12th. So if I continue to run sys, you'll still continue to infect files, but we should eventually see the full screen payload of OlympicAIDS here pop up on the computer. course, it may take only a few tries, it may take a bunch of tries, so see how many times it's going to take us to get there. There we are. Now, unfortunately, the graphics kind of glitched out because we have the VGA 240 program running here to get the nice 60 Hz refresh, but you can see that we've got the full screen payload there of OlympicAIDS. So it says Little Hammer 94, so because again this derived around the 94 Olympics, and it says Hakan and Kristen blew it up again, and we've got the Olympic rings of different colors there. It says this time they have been fucking around with the Olympic computers and managed to infect a lot of your computers with a little tiny destructive virus. Now, Antonio, you can't let them run away with this. Punish the little bastards. And what it does is it hangs up the system here, so there's no more keyboard input. You can't break out of DOS or anything like that. But it does still allow Control-Alt-Delete to work, and to be able to reboot the computer. Now, it does say it is a little tiny destructive virus, but I haven't found the destructive payload of the virus to really affect the computer here. Because it's supposed to destroy the first 256 bytes of the first hard disk on the system, which in this case is drive C, but from what I found, unless there's a lot of stuff on it, it probably wouldn't affect it. It's not affecting anything here on this IBM PS1, but if this hard drive was more filled up with stuff, it might potentially cause destruction to some of the first initial files that are in that 256 byte allocation at the beginning of the disk. So that's pretty much it for the OlympicAIDS or VCL.Olympic DOS virus.